The following is a radio dramatisation. A column on the run, The Fight at Crossbarry, written by Lar McCarthy and directed by Brendan Hayes. A SPICA 3 production.
Hampshires.
Could you please tell Peter Strickland, that I have valuable information for him?
General, I have a lady on the phone who says she's information for you.
Who is this?
This is Kathleen Waters.
Ah, Kathleen. What have you got for me?
Peter, there are men waiting an ambush in a place called Shippool. It's between Kinsale and...
Yes, I'm aware where Shippool is. How many men?
Well, Henry didn't have time to count, but he said 70 or 80 at least.
Very good. Tell Henry I'll see him at the lodge. And, Kathleen, thank you very much.
Goodbye, Peter.
Get that plane in the air at once.
Yes, sir.
The biggest scourge to any military outfit during a war are the spies and informers. There were spies who took blood money and unpaid informers from the wealthier landowning class who hated the Republican movement. They were by far the worst kind.
Our orders are to fly low over this valley and find these insurgents. Keep your eyes peeled.
Captain! Look! Close to the hedgerows! See all the dark shapes? Definitely not animals.
Hang on. We'll do another swoop around.
Let's drop to 400 feet.
Ah, yes. Well done, Jock. Mark the location and let's report back to the General.
Hampshires.
I need to speak to General Strickland at once.
Who is this?
Cadet Hughes from Recon 1906.
Who's on the telephone?
Cadet Hughes.
God damn it, man. Give me the phone. General Strickland speaking.
Sir, we completed the reconnaissance mission. Your information is correct. We have located the IRA at Shippool.
How many?
Over 100 men, sir.
Very good. Very good. I'll take you home again, Kathleen.
They're onto us. This is highly dangerous, boys. We need to move out of here very lively. Send word back to the ladies if they were right. Section leaders, fall out and stand in front of me as I call your name. Section Leader 1, Sean Hales. Section Leader 2, John Lorden. Section Leader 3, Mike Crowley. Section Leader 4, Denis Lorden. Section Leader 5, Tom Kelleher. Section Leader 6, Pete Kearney. Section Leader 7, Christy O'Connell.
I knew very well someone had informed on us again. The information that the common man provided was always correct. And when that reconnaissance plane passed over us, it was proof. After I spoke to all section leaders and warned them on the importance of moving with stealth and that we could be encircled at any moment, only then did I give the order to move towards Inishannon and then towards the Ballyhandle Crossbarry area.
Advance, Section Leader Tom Kelleher.
Yes, sir.
Move Section 5 in advanced positions. And remember what I said. Half your section inside both ditches. The enemy could surprise us at any moment.
Section 5, take up your positions. Move swiftly and quietly. Keep our ears and eyes open.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All other sections fall into your designated positions.
Are we ready to proceed?
Yes. And Tom, you know this area better than anyone. So speak to me if you think of anything that we can change.
I will indeed. We better get moving.
Who were they? They were the eyes of the starved. They were the ears of the hanged. They were the flesh growing back on their bones. They were the words spoken by tortured wolf tone. They were the wheat that you burned from the land. They were the bloom of the wood you cut down. And why did they rise? They rose for old Ireland's honour. They rose for our great ancestors. They rose for our farmers and workers. They rose at the call of our 10 million martyrs. They rose for the songs and the dreams of the bards. They rose for the plough and the stars.
We moved along those country roads at speed. It was so quiet, one could hear the sounds of the unison march of the column echoing off the grassy ditches. We reached our destination, O'Leary's of Ballyhandle, at 1 a.m. After setting up column headquarters, the rest of the men were dispersed to billet in houses in the surrounding area. They were all warned to sleep in their clothes and to be ready at a minute's notice.
Hello, Baines. Who have I at all? Oh, I have you now. Liam Deasy and Tom Barry. Wish you God knows you're all very welcome. I'll make tea on the spot.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Mrs. O'Leary. This is hot, Liam boy. If we get surrounded, we're in trouble. What do we like for ammunition?
Roughly 40 rounds per man, some Mills bombs, the mines.
I've no doubt in my mind we'll see action. I can just sense they're out there looking for us. If we do engage with them, it'll have to be swift and at close quarters to stand any chance.
It's hard with so little to fight with.
A nice hot cup of tea for ye, and himself have gone out with buckets for the others.
You're very kind, ma'am.
Sure, God knows 'tisn't much. Lord help us. Sure, ye poor old craters, aren't ye doing the best?
I hope so.
My father was a Fenian, and he often told us stories of the struggles they had. He said what killed us most, going back through the centuries, was leadership. For 'twas the men who came from money was put into position of authority, and he might not know a thing about leading men, only for his father was a shop owner or a big farmer. Ye have a different approach though, for 'tis men who can lead are leading, regardless of what they have or haven't. Men who can think
Charlie!
when they're...
Oh, God! Send 2 scouts to Ballymurphy and get Charlie Hurley out. No!
He's injured after Upton.
Send them at once. You'll be raiding houses. Hurry on!
God bless ye all.
Every bloody one of you better be awake. These petty bastards are in the area. I can smell it. We have 400 of us here from Cork, 200 on the way from Ballincollig, 300 from Kinsale, and 350 from Bandon. Macroom and Clonakilty are also mobilising.
We'll crush these Irish bastards, so we will. Won't we, boys?
Don't you for 1 minute underestimate these thugs. They play by their own rules.
So do we, don't we, boys?
Do you think this is some kind of joke? I'd take 10 of them over 100 of you any day. As much as I hate to say it, but these barbarians are braver than any force I've ever come across. No one can tell them from the other. They calculate. They strike fast and move with the speed of lightning. Do not underestimate these people.
Sir, these men are peasants, farmers, labourers, with all due respect. They don't know what battle is compared to us. They don't have weapons or armoury like we have.
A gun doesn't win a war, soldier. Organisation, cunning, and a will to die for one's country. That's what wins a war. Now get into sections. I want every house and barn searched. I want every stone unturned. And anyone who resists, shoot them dead. Section 1. Go to a house in Ballymurphy. I've been informed that one of their leaders by the name of Charlie Hurley is staying there. He should be an easy target as he's recovering from an injury. Easy pickings. Get to it.
Lights from the west. Looks like a convoy. We stop counting at 12 lorries.
I want all sections here in 15 minutes, and no later.
Okay, right away.
What are we going to do now?
All our men will be here in minutes.
We could make a run for it and get out while we still have a chance. Our strategy is to survive.
We have movement to the east. Looks like at least 20 lorries.
Sir, we've moving from the south. All lights and dogs barking.
We are being surrounded. Let's get out of here while we still can.
No. The only way out of this is to fight them. And we have the advantage. We know the ground thanks to Tom Kelleher. Men, it looks like we are in a dangerous situation here. We have verified information that the enemy is surrounding us from nearly all directions except the northwest. Now, the way I'm looking at it is that we have two options. We make our escape northwest and hope for the best, or we fight the enemy on our ground. Now, I have no information to tell me whether the north is clear or not. But my feeling is that they are coming from that direction too.
Fight them, I am not running away after this fight. I'm not running.
If any man wants to walk away now, I won't think any less of them. For this is going to be fight or die. The enemy will not take prisoners.
As I mobilised all the column into sections, the thought went through my mind that if we're wiped out, what hope would the poor people of West Cork have then? But if we made our escape, maybe we'd live to fight another day. Or maybe not. This thought soon vanished when we heard shots being fired from a few miles away. I knew in my heart that those shots were from the guns of the terrorists that at that moment were piercing through the heart of the man we all loved so dearly. Charlie Hurley, who was the idol of the brigade. Charlie once told me that he had had a dream that he would die alone fighting the enemy. We heard after that he died trying to fight his way through the enemy with guns in both hands. Charlie would never surrender. The mysticism of the Celtic warrior made Charlie's love of country a religion, a faith which allowed him to visualize only two ends: his country's freedom or his own death in attempting to achieve that freedom. Charlie's name will forever be honoured among all the other great men of old who died while trying to set our nation free.
Section leaders, can you repeat the orders I have given ye? Everyone listen up. Sean Hales.
No sections are to move from its position unless orders are received to do so.
John Lorden.
If a section does not see the enemy, we are not to move to the aid of other sections.
Mike Crowley. Why is this?
Sir, because the enemy is coming from different sides.
Dennis Lorden.
No volunteer is to show himself until the action starts.
Tom Kelleher. Why is this?
Because our plan is to let the enemy move through the ambush position until the leaders are over the eastern mine.
Pete Kearney.
When that mine goes off, we are to attack our nearest enemy, and the second mine is to be set off if the enemy comes near it.
Christy O'Connell.
Communication between column commander and all sections is to be made by runners.
General Strickland to Major Percival. Come in. Over.
Major Percival receiving. Over.
We're approximately 4 miles outside Crossbarry. Very bad roads. What is your location? Over.
We are 3 to 4 miles to the west. Over.
Our house searches have proven quite fruitful. We've shot and killed a rebel whom we believe to be one of their leaders.
Barry?
No. We believe his name to be Charlie Hurley.
Wonderful. Wonderful news. Over.
Hold. All regiments. Deploy half of your soldiers and make a ring around Crossbarry. Approximately 3-mile radius. All others proceed to rendezvous point at Crossbarry. Keep your eyes open. General Strickland out. Are you there, Major?
Yes, sir. Over.
It is imperative that we encircle the area, but we need to proceed with caution. I know they're in the locality. Shoot to kill, Major. Shoot to kill. Take no prisoners.
If you find that Tom Barry, don't kill him. I want that honor.
Received. Over and out.
Commandant Hales, I want your section on the western side of the kill zone. Block the entrance to the Boreen.
Would it be better left open? For they might see it and know we are here.
No! Your section will be inside the northern ditch ready to fire. We block the Boreen with stones to stop their vehicles entering in on top of us.
What are you waiting for, men? You heard the order. Get stones on that ditch and get the boring blocked.
Your section can fire directly on them and also infiltrate on the approach road.
Okay. Hurry on, men. Keep the knives down. Come on, hurry on, hurry on.
Section leaders John Lorden, Crowley, Kearney and Dennis Lorden. We've about 750 yards of distance to cover here. Oh, I want your sections inside that ditch, spread along nice and even. And for God's sake, make sure they've plenty cover. I want riflemen in Beasley's Field and Harold's houses. Do ye understand so far? Sean, I want more stones put round that bend.
Men, gather more stones. Come on, get to it, come on.
Just so they can't race in on top of any sections when the fighting starts.
Major Percival, may I make a suggestion?
What?
Since we've deployed half of our men at the 4-mile radius, may I suggest that we make contact with General Strickland again? Check their position?
Just drive the truck and follow orders.
Sir, I have to respectfully disagree. If we arrive first, we could be wiped out. Minutes count.
If we arrive first, Lieutenant, I get first crack at Barry and put him in the ground once and for all. Are you such an imbecile that you can't fathom what a disgrace he is making of our Essex regiment? I should like to cut his head off, stuff it, and place it in my office with my other prized stuffed animals.
General Strickland to Major Percival. Come in. Over.
Major Percival receiving.
It looks as if you will enter Crossbarry before us. I suggest you hold back and we enter together. They may be planning an ambush.
Enter Crossbarry. I suggest enter an ambush.
Did you hear that, Lieutenant? He said enter Crossbarry. He suggests enter.
I think there may be more to it.
Can you repeat?
Hold back your men. We will enter together. If you go alone, you could all be killed.
Your men, enter together.
He is telling us to enter, man. Can you please repeat? We can only hear some of your message.
Can you hear me now, Major?
Now, Major.
Please do not be in a hurry, as we will all be later than you.
Please, hurry.
God damn it, repeat! Repeat!
Your soldiers will all be dead if you go in too soon.
Soldiers all dead.
Drive faster, Lieutenant! His soldiers are all dead! Drive! Drive! Drive!
Jack Corkery and Captain McCarthy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I need the 2 mines we spoke about earlier embedded into the road.
I need 4 men to dig the road fast.
Okay, the rest of the mine's taken care of. Is Fleur Begley here?
Sir.
Fleur, your job is one of the most dangerous. I want you to be in the middle of the attacking section at Harold's house. The minute you hear the first shots being fired, you play Irish war songs. You can get cover behind the house, but you blow into those pipes with as much force as a hurricane, and you do not stop.
Hannah won't deal. I won't stop unless I'm shot. And even at that, my last breath will be into these pipes.
The will of God, when the enemy hears them pipes, they'll think we have a full battalion here. Tom Kelleher, your section will be in the castle field.
That's about 600 yards to the rear of Denis Lawton's section.
You'll be covering the left flank, and any approaches from the left rear. By God, Tom, I'm glad you're here. Only for you, we wouldn't know the lay of the land so well.
Sure, I was born very near to here.
You happy with the plan so far?
I think it's as good as we can do. Only we need to be hard and swift.
Very good. See Christie, handle over to me.
Lads, where's Christie? Send them up. Come on.
Okay.
Right. Your section is covering the right flank. Now, you'll be about 600 yards west of Hales' section, about 200 yards to the north. Now, you need to be on high alert as you have 2 jobs. Fire on the enemy on the approach road and protect us from a flank attack. Do you understand all that?
I do. Don't worry. We won't let the side down.
I want 3 riflemen on patrol at the rear of our positions. Keep your heads down and your eyes peeled. Okay. Now, everyone listen up. Ye have been told and shown the plan 6 times now. Does everyone understand? Is there any man confused? Or maybe not sure about what's happening? I take your silence means that everyone knows what they're doing. We're nearly out of time. Everyone, take up your positions now. Hold your nerves, boys. We can do this.
By the time every man was in position, it was nearly 6 a.m. We waited on for hours as we heard the lorries in the distance. I was confident that we could not be surprised and that the positions I had allocated were strong and secure. 73 officers and men were all in positions of attack, and 31 others protecting our flank. I knew very well our number of men was never going to be a match to the number of enemies that were on the way at that very moment. But we had far more than them in many ways. We had men who had their houses burned, men who had their brothers and sisters murdered, butchered and tortured by this terrorist force. Men who left their homes with only the clothes on their backs to take on this mighty empire. What we had that this enemy could never have was the will and devotion to fight to death and drive these imperialists out of our country. I'm sure every man at that moment was thinking about only two things: fight beyond their limits, and our dear comrade Charlie Hurley, who we were sure had died on his own only a couple of miles away.
Here they come, Liam. From the west.
Looks to be about a dozen lorries.
Right into the ambush area. Come on. Keep going on for another bit. Why are they stopping so sudden?
Come on, you heard him. Move. Come on, get to it.
Come on!
Right, look. Blast him anyway. One of our men has shown himself.
Fire on the enemy!
There must be thousands of them, a full battalion! Make a first call to General Strickland. Come in, over.
Strickland receiving.
My men are being destroyed. It's an ambush.
What? I warned you not to proceed until we were all ready.
Negative. You told us you were being ambushed.
I said they were probably in an ambush position and not to proceed without us. What is your position?
We're about 1 mile out, on the rear.
We're minutes away.
Come on, we have them on the run. Run! Go on, your houses now.
Cease fire! Cease fire! Now ye know what you're capable of. Well done, men.
Look at the cowards run like dazzled deer.
Follow them with fire. Rapid fire. Binoculars. There they are on the cork-bending road over a mile away. Cease fire! Cease fire! I've never witnessed such cowardice to run and leave their comrades dying on the road.
What now?
Collect all weapons, ammunition, and any notebooks. Leave everything else. What's that? A Lewis gun. A light machine gun. Badly wanted.
Lord God, the weight of it. 'Tis far from light.
Light as in firing capacity. Oh, spare me. You! Hold it right there.
Please don't shoot me. I'm an Irishman. Please don't shoot me.
What the hell are you doing here?
I was out walking this morning, and the Essex picked me up for no reason at all. I was tied to the bonnet of the lorry, and I set myself free when the fighting started.
An old trick, so we won't fire on them. What's your name?
Ned White, sir.
Can you fire a gun?
I did a long time ago.
Take this pistol. Very simple. Aim at the enemy, fire, and kill as many as you can. Can you do that?
I'll do my level best.
Divide up all the ammunition. Pull the dead clear and burn them lorries.
Can anyone drive them things? Huh? Put them here, Stuart. Put them off the road. Come on.
All sections, back to your positions now!
This is General Strickland. It looks as though we may have lost the first leg of the battle. But we know where they are now. We need to get messages out to all the other units to attack at once. And remember, take no prisoners.
Received. Percival, out.
We will observe from here and watch for Barry. I want that piece of vermin so bad. When he runs like the rat that he is, we will pounce.
Should we not be attacking with the others?
No, Barry is the important one. He's too clever to get killed. When he sees that his sections are destroyed, he will try to get out. We will be here waiting for him. All we have to do is wait.
After the first part of the battle ended, our spirits were high. Although it's not very good to dwell on such things for very long, because in war, things can change very fast. When the second part of the battle took off, we could easily see that this British column had hundreds of soldiers and they were advancing from the southeast. Denis Lordan's section made fast work of that lot, and especially with the help of Pete Kearney's section. When the second part of the battle had ended, there was a brief break. We were very satisfied, not just because we had defeated another platoon of the enemy, but because of all the rifles and ammunition we were able to gather. Lack of such things had always been an almighty drawback to us. No sooner had we gathered up the rifles and ammunition when there was another outbreak of heavy rifle fire coming from our near right flank. We very quickly noticed that another full platoon of British soldiers was making their way on foot cross country. Christy O'Connell's section were on the job in seconds after they were spotted by one of our men. O'Connell's section pounced on them and took the not-so-stealthy British soldiers by surprise. The enemy ran for their lives. Within minutes, the next stage of the battle began. They just kept on coming, and we kept on fighting. We noticed hundreds more of British soldiers entering a little boreen over a mile away. They were keeping low and in a crouched position as they slithered like reptiles along the ditch. Their plan was that they would come up on the rear of a section that were not suspecting an attack from behind. But they hadn't encountered the greatness of men like Tom Kelleher, who were waiting and ready for them in the castle field. Kelleher's section had spotted them from an early stage, held their ground, and let the British get close enough to see the whites of their eyes. Kelleher's section opened fire, killing a number of them while the remainders ran for cover. The fighting got really heavy, and I sent Spud Murphy and over a dozen riflemen to help Kelleher's section. Spud was a warrior of warriors, and even with his arm in a sling from a bullet received just weeks before, I had full faith in him. We gave it everything we had, and they soon retreated. I then moved most sections to reinforce Kelleher and Spud sections. We would be at full force, but when we arrived, the British had gone. Silence prevailed while we took in the scenes. Dead British soldiers lying on the Crossbarry Road, in the southern fields, in front of Denis Lordan's section, near Christy O'Connell's section, and many more around Tom Kelleher's section. It was as bad as I'd seen any day on the battlefields of Mesopotamia. We didn't get away lightly either, as 3 of our comrades lay dead. Peter Monaghan, Jeremiah O'Leary, and Con Daly. We had many badly wounded, including Dan Corcoran and Jimmy Crowley. Jimmy Crowley would not have survived if it wasn't for the bravery of a splendid officer named Jack Corkery, who, after seeing Crowley being laced with bullets, got down on the ground and slid out of his cover and midst a hail of bullets made his way to Crowley, put him on his back and ran with him to safety.
All sections, fall in. What has happened here today will be remembered. Each and every one of you has fought with the heart of a lion. We have defeated the enemy and shook them to the core. We are in possession of our countryside. But it has come at a cost. We will bow our heads in honor of our 3 dead and pray that their souls will reach the bosoms of heaven. May God have mercy on their souls.
Amen.
We now have to march nearly 20 miles to safety, and we need to be on high alert. Do not let your guard down. We are not out of danger yet. Gashra Ara! Oh yes, das Krieg! Das Umprig! Gamar Marshal!
We began to march. We noticed a group of soldiers in a field about a mile away. They appeared leaderless and disorganized. As I looked through binoculars, I could see that they were arguing about what to do next. We helped them to make up their minds.
Fire at the enemy!
That was A Column on the Run, The Fight at Crossbarry, starring Donie Walsh, Lar McCarthy, Brendan Hayes, Denis O Mahony, John Hughes, Mairead Connell and Tommy Moyles. The piper was Adam Duggan, Act 1 Military Service. Sound recordist Sam Morgan. The cast and crew would like to thank John Green, C103 FM, Conor Nelligan, Cork County Council Commemoration Committee, and poet Dave Lorden. This was a SPICA 3 production.